Hello, hello everybody. Welcome to the reading today. This is for the Pisces full moon we have on the 26th, depending on where you're at. And as we all know, this is sign specific, so I'm going to be starting with Pisces this time around because it is the Pisces full moon. Okay, I have the mermaid cards. I figured that would be appropriate. I mean, are you guys ready to cry for this full moon or what? That's what I do on the Pisces full moon anyway. Hello to everybody who's hopping on. Say hi, drop a comment, let me know. What is your sun, moon, and rising? What do you have in Pisces, better yet? What is the full moon affecting, if you know your natal chart? Okay. And then if you are watching on YouTube, I already have the timestamps listed out in the description box. Okay. And then for those of you who are asking, how do I find my sun, moon, and rising? I like the astro-charts.com. That's my favorite natal chart generator, and it's free. I just think it's very pretty looking. So that's what I would do. That'll show where all your planets are at, everything like that. I'm not sponsored, obviously. I just really like that website. Okay, people are commenting. Neptune in Pisces, Pisces sun, Mars in Pisces. Nice. I have my sun in Pisces, which is conjunct my Saturn and my Mercury. So it touches quite a bit for me. All right. See what's coming up for Pisces. All right, are you guys ready? We're going to start with Pisces. Hello to everybody. And first thing coming up for Pisces is the Five of Cups. So this is really, I think that this is going to activate a lot of that running those disappointment cycles or focusing on what isn't working. This is a lack mentality, so that's one of the things that comes up with the Five of Cups is focusing on what you don't have. And honestly, this is probably just coming from all of the emotions rising to the surface. That's what this moon does. That's what it's designed to do, is show you all of the deepest, darkest emotions that are just bubbling up to the surface. So, kind of let them come up. Like, that's just how this needs to go for you. Remember, if you're feeling it, if you're being present with the disappointment, if you're being present with the parts of your life, I'm not going to tell you to try to smother it out with gratitude. Okay, that's just not. It's not always going to work when the energies are really intense. And so what I'm going to suggest instead is that you just be present with your emotions, be present with your body, let yourself feel into them without judgment, and just let yourself kind of go with the flow as they come up. Let's see what else you have showing up. The Tower. Yep, this is that being swept off your feet, like total energy of being just the upheaval. Like, oh, everything is kind of breaking down and being deconstructed. That's what this full moon is for. It's also giving you the opportunity to release things, because the Tower is a release card. The Five of Cups is a release card if you use the energy wisely. So just focus on where you're feeling any grief, frustration, anxiety, and just let the emotions be what they are without judgment, because this is going to shift. This is going to pass. It just needs to come up with this full moon. And then we also have the shark. So what I like to compare this to is, you know, when sharks like smell blood and they kind of have like that blackout state, that's what you kind of need to, the overwhelming emotions is what's going to cause like the confusion, the not being able to see things clearly. So I'm going to tell you, when you start to feel this full moon build, when you start to feel all of this Pisces energy start to show up, it's really important that you look at this as something that is going to shift and change. Try not to have any like serious conversations or important conversations during this full moon. I would not recommend it, because it's like you're just going to be speaking from emotion. So just let yourself kind of take a breather for a few days and then go from there. Okay. Aries, hello, hello. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Aries. And we have Two of Cups. Collaboration, connection. It looks like the Pisces energy actually gives you some warm and fuzzies, like the feeling of being really connected and aligned, and being able to just have connection and collaboration with somebody. So that is what is coming up here, and it's that Pisces energy actually looks like it's giving you a little bit of a break. Like it might actually be really calming for you during this next week or so. And then we also have the Two of Earth, Two of Pentacles, looking at your decision making. Where are you putting your energy? Where are you putting your focus? What are you trying to pursue? What are you trying to align yourself with? Remember that your energy, your money, your time, your effort, your mental space is going to, where you put it is going to magnify. So just think about that. Okay, and then I have B for you, which is, this actually looks happy-go-lucky, focusing on the kind of like the group, the collective. That's really what that's the sense that I'm getting, is just kind of what are you constructing, what are you building, and how are your connections involved in that. That's going to be a big component of this moon for you. Okay, and Taurus. Oh, also, if you are watching and asking, what sign am I on? I do this the same way every time, so you can tell. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So only the ones that are flipped over are the ones that I've done. Sagittarius is right here, so I have not done Sagittarius yet. But if you ever hop on one of these lives, that's how you can tell. I do them in the same, they're in the same order in the circle. I just start with the sign that I'm reading the moon for, okay? So, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising, this is for you. First thing, we have Six of Wands, victory, making things happen, getting things done, typical Taurus fashion. I think that this is also going to bring some levity to you as well. Like, it's going to help loosen things up a little bit and get the ball rolling. You're seeing the other side of this. So while the sun is in Virgo, that's probably a really nice energy for you. With heavy Taurus energy, you might actually like the sun being in Virgo. I know I do. And so this is actually helping to loosen things up and kind of show you the other side, more of the emotional, more of the expansive, more of the psychic side of things. And that's actually going to help grease the wheels on your motivation, so to speak. You're getting the other side of it. So you can kind of breathe into that, and it might be good to get things done. Take notes on any ideas that you have showing up. Just let yourself kind of take note of the intuitive hits that you're getting. And then we also have the Empress, divine femininity. This is all about being nurturing, grounded, secure, taking care of yourself. This is your card. You know, there's a reference to wheat here, so it's very grounded. Okay, so this looks good. Super, super, super earthy. Then we also have FIREFLY. So this is about you being illuminated, like you really shining your light and showing what you have to offer to the world. So that's how you're showing up. You're being victorious, you're charging ahead, you're really able to hold space at this time. It actually looks like this full moon is kind of giving you the opportunity to stay grounded for other people as well as yourself. So it just is kind of like, we need Taurus energy right now really, really bad. Especially, I'll be curious to see what the other water signs are going through, but this actually looks like a nice thing for you to work with, a nice energy for you to have at this time. Kristen, I already answered your question. Sagittarius is over here. So no, I didn't do it. And these are in the same order every time. So just keep that in mind. The ones that I didn't flip over are the ones that I have not done yet. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, etc. Okay. Alrighty, Gemini. Hello, hello. Sun, Moon, and Rising Gemini. This is for you. First thing coming up is the Five of Pentacles. It looks like the emotional nature of the Pisces moon is kind of activating that for you as well. I think that part of this energy is actually pulling you down from having more of your chi and your energy up towards your 6th and 7th chakras, up towards the crown, and actually pulling it more down into your emotional body, which is gonna it's gonna bring up the feelings of whatever it is that you've been putting on the back burner. Okay, so we all emotionally have some way of compartmentalizing, right? There's all sorts of ways that we do this. We all have defense mechanisms for that. And so it looks like those are kind of being unearthed at this time. And that's kind of the energy of Pisces. It can be nurturing and collaborative and helpful and sensitive, or it can be and really feminine, or it's something where it's highly emotional. So that's what you have showing up. We also have the Three of Cups. So I would highly recommend, highly suggest that you spend time with friends, spend time with people that you care about, spend time with people that you have fun with, just spend time with people, and that's going to make a huge difference for you in this energy and being able to ground yourself through this full moon. And then lastly, we have Horse. So remember that it's going to pass. You're going to move through it. You're going to push through and get back to what you were doing before. But I think that it's going to come from you spending time with people and allowing the emotions. Allow them. That's the key thing that you want to keep in mind, is you don't want to shove them back into a closet. You don't want to put them in a box and send them away. You actually want to maintain your strength through this and just use the tools that you have at your disposal. Okay. All right, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hello, hello to all my Cancer friends. First thing coming up for you is the Queen of Cups. This is you. I think that this moon might actually gel with you quite a bit. I suspect that you might be feeling kind of comfortable and at home with the Pisces moon, like, this is nice. It's dreamy and sensitive. Like, you kind of get to bob along as you go through this full moon. So it looks like this is actually supporting you at this time. Pisces are unearthing some crazy stuff. So you actually look a little bit more cozy. So if you have Pisces and Cancer, then it could go like one of two ways, and it might change day by day. Okay, and then we also have the Messenger of Fire. So I think there is you look really observant. That's what I'm picking up from this card. It just looks like you're doing some inspections and figuring out kind of what it is that you're wanting to do next. You look extra crafty at this time. Let me see what the animal card is for you. We have Crow. So yep, super psychic, super intuitive at this time. Which also goes along with the Queen of Cups. So it's kind of like you're figuring out what you're doing next. This is going to be an awesome time for you to brainstorm and let your goals kind of do some of the talking for you in part. Like, just focus on what you want, what you're desiring, and kind of let that lead the way a little bit. And just see how it feels. It seems like you already know what you're doing and what you're creating. It's just about kind of letting it giving it a little bit more space is going to serve you. All right, Leo. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hello, hello. First thing, the Hanged Man. What patterns are you breaking? What have you been doing for a long time, or what pattern keeps showing up, or what's consistent that needs to break down? It's at your discretion. Remember, people can stay in toxic cycles as long as they want. You can stay in unhealthy habits, patterns, and situations as long as you want. Like, that is something that people do all the time. So I can tell you that there are patterns that are ready to be broken, but you have to take action in order for that to work. So let's see what else is coming up. 3 of Air, 3 of Swords. This is the release card. This is, the energy of needing to cut something out. Like, something has to go and something isn't working. So what is it? You have to ask yourself, like, what needs to go? That's what the full moon does. It helps you release and start a new cycle. So I think that, the 3 of Air, the 3 of Swords is a really intense letting go energy, and I know that it can bring up a lot of fear. It can be really scary. It can be confusing as well. So let yourself focus on what's in your highest good and what you need. And it looks like release is kind of what you need in order to be better supported. And then we have Lamb. So it's like starting fresh, like just being born fresh out of the womb. That's like the innocence of Lamb is actually what's helping you. And yes, Debbie, I totally hear you. This is not a natural energy for Leos. It's totally not. It's just not. Leos like to have that heart connection. This is more of this is easier for like Scorpio or Aquarius, like detach. And so if you have like a significant Leo placement, then it's it just makes it more challenging. So I hear you 100%. And that's why you kind of need to look at this as, you know, really focus on taking care of yourself. Leos kind of have that flip-flop between over caring for other people and not caring for themselves enough, or vice versa. And so it's just about figuring out how to balance that in your life, especially with this full moon. Okay. All right, Virgos, sun, moon, and rising. Hello, hello to all my Virgo friends. And let me know if you're a part of the Virgo Moon Club. I know I am. Okay, so first thing for Virgos, we have the Seven of Swords. So this is about like having a lot to juggle. And I think it's just about, I don't know, what do I do? What do I want first? What do I want next? And because 'tis the season for mapping all of this out, I think this is going to be such a nice energy for you to work with and plan. What are you letting go of? Think about this as a fresh school year, like a new, cracked open, like fresh pens and pencils and papers, and, you know, meal plans and rearranging the furniture and all of that stuff. So this is really about mapping things out. Don't let the Seven of Swords trip you up. You can just quickly jot down, like, what are you prioritizing, and start from what's your primary focus. Bite-sized pieces are going to work better than trying to take everything on at the same time. But I would say this full moon should be wiping the slate clean for you energetically. I think that especially if you have like a Virgo sun in particular, let yourself kind of start fresh. That is going to be such a helpful practice for you as you're moving into Virgo season and everything like that. Let's see what else is coming up. We have the Fool. Oh my God. I like do the reading before I pull the cards. Right, starting fresh, starting something new, reiterating what I was just saying. I apparently knew that card was there for some reason. It's just about doing things different, like starting something new, and don't get too bogged down in the details. I want to be clear, you can build as you go. And again, I know that's hard for Virgos to not focus on every minute detail, but it's going to help you get stuff done faster if you can start to just focus on, this is a clean slate, I'm rebuilding, rather than I need to have everything figured out from the start. Okay, and then you have Gazelle. Okay, so the phrase that's coming up with this, and I know this, it doesn't apply to gazelles, but like I think it's a book or something where it's like, eat the frog, get the most challenging task done first, like wake up early, get your day started, like just doing it, like doing the hard habits, like the most challenging thing first might be getting up and making your bed. Doing things in a regimented way is going to really set the tone as we head into the rest of the year. And so I think that this is going to be an awesome time to just go back to the drawing board and map everything out for yourself. I'm excited for Virgos. This actually looks good. All right, Libra. Sun, moon, rising. Hello to all of my Libra friends. It is nice to see you on here. Let's see what's coming up for you. Six of Pentacles. So, hold on. I want to pull the next one first before I read that Six of Earth. Oh, wow. Okay, so you have two Six of Pentacles. What are you giving and what are you receiving? Are you overgiving? Are you overextending yourself to keep the peace? Are you trying to not make any waves? Are you trying to play it safe? Like, where in that are you overdoing that and sacrificing your own needs? The Six of Pentacles is about reciprocity, reciprocation within relationships, situations, and organizations. I think that you would benefit from taking a magnifying glass to your relationships, taking inventory. Am I getting what I'm giving? Ask yourself if these things are balanced or if you feel that they're not, because it's important, particularly for Libras, for things to be balanced, healthy, secure, grounded, and reciprocal. That's very, very, very important for Libras, more so than other signs. I find that with people who have a lot of Libra placements, it's actually more taxing for things to be out of whack with you than with other signs. And so just focusing on how you can cultivate that in your relationships is going to be a big game changer. And then we have Fire Ant. So it's really about looking at the areas that feel chaotic, that feel systematic, but also uncomfortable. Because Fire Ants, it just, there's this jittery energy that's coming from this card. And so that's kind of why you want to look at where are things out of balance. And there's no way to stay completely in balance at all times. That's a total fallacy. You know, we're human beings, but it's just looking at what is causing you distress. If you try to put your finger on what it is, you might find that it's something that's significantly out of balance or that feels like it's not reciprocal. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hello to all my Scorpio friends. First thing you have coming up is the Eight of Pentacles, getting to work. This, you might find that this is a very work heavy moon, like you just want to get things done and make things happen. Let me pull this one too and see. Messenger of Air. So this is really about carving your own path, doing your own thing, going against the grain, not worrying so much about what other people think, just doing it for you, doing things for your own sake, not somebody else's expectations or the restrictions that they put on you. It's all for you. Like this work, this efforting is all for your best interest. It's all to take care of yourself. It's just so that you can build and construct the things that are important to you and matter to you. And then we also have Stingray. Okay, so it looks like there's somewhat of a foundation being built. It could be emotional, right? It could be emotional work. It could be doing things that are more rooted in the subconscious or like underneath the surface. The immediate thing that came up when I saw Stingray was, you know how they like to bury themselves in the sand? And that's kind of what this was like. Oh yeah, you're going against the grain, you're getting all this work done, whether it be emotional, career related, whatever. It's all about building the foundation behind the scenes. So you're doing the work and the growth behind the scenes. You're not going to see the benefits from it yet, but that doesn't mean that the work is pointless. It just means you need to be consistent and continue with it. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hello, hello to all my Sagittarius friends. Temperance, this is your card. So it's all about flow and ease with this Pisces moon. What are you, and a lot of it has to do with this mutable energy. The Temperance card is just kind of showing the go with the flow, making things happen, letting things be easy. I would say that's going to be the best energy for you to work with. Focus on making things easy for yourself. Focus on having fun, enjoying yourself, just relaxing. That is what this energy is going to be good for. And if you're experiencing a lot of resistance, then, you know, take a step back. Focus on what's working well. It doesn't mean you're not going to face challenges. It's just like sometimes taking the easiest avenue actually gets things done faster. So just consider that. It's an option that you might want to look at. And then we have the King of Fire. This is also you looking really, really heart-centered. I think that the Pisces energy kind of sits with you pretty well. And it's just kind of like showing more of the sensitivity in terms of you being supportive, if that makes sense. Like you actually showing up and being the one who's providing a lot of insight and support and care. And I think it's like the mutable energy with the moon is kind of helping you to do that and feeling more expansive than usual. And then we also have Frog. So I think it's so funny. The phrase that came up when I saw this was like, make lemonade out of lemons when life hands you lemons. That whole thing, that whole concept, it's like making the most of what you're working with. And I think that if you kind of think about what you have in your life as something that you can MacGyver to work in your favor, it actually helps you feel like the sky is the limit. That's what Sagittarius really likes to work with, is ultimate expansion, like no limits. And so I think that's what is helping you right now, is just focusing on you have what you have. You have the energy, the environment, the situations that you've been given, and just what are you doing with what you have? Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hello to you, my friends. Let's see what's coming up for you. We have the Four of Wands, construction, building, having like celebrations at this time might be coming up too. You might get like a wave of good news, like, oh, so-and-so's getting married and so-and-so's having a baby shower. It's funny because most of the time when I see this, it doesn't look like events to me, but this is coming up really strong, like, oh, all these birthday parties, and it just looks very celebratory as far as the season goes. So that's what I am reading for this, for Capricorns. Like, you have a lot going. And let me see what the next card is before I speak more to that. Five of Fire. And so there is like quite a bit of, I don't want to say chaos. It just looks really like busy, like all over the place. Like you have a lot going on. I think that's why the Four of Wands is showing up. Remember, both of these energies are about building. Even the Five of Fire, the Five of Wands, that's what this card is. One of my favorite cards in tarot, because it's like through the chaos and the madness, we find a way to stabilize ourselves and to grow regardless of what's happening in present time. This pushes you to be really crafty. It pushes you to find creative solutions to complex problems. And this is where you grow the most, is when you have conflict and you're kind of being pushed to expand. And then we have Scorpion. This is about tackling things. What I mean by that is just striking while the iron is hot. You know, this isn't a good time to like wait around for permission. It's like, as they say, ask for forgiveness rather than permission. Just do it. Strike, make it happen, get things done. And remember that life is just one of those things that kind of falls into place and falls together. This is not a good time to get sucked into perfectionism. It's just not. It's not going to help you out because it's going to block you from getting things done. There's always a million reasons to not do something. There's always 1,000 reasons to not start. That's always something that you can use as an excuse, and you just have to decide how long you want to use that excuse, or if you just want to make things happen regardless. Okay, now last but not least, we have Aquarius. Hello to all the Aquarius sun, moon, and risings. It's nice to see you today. And for you, we have death. Ultimate transformation during this Pisces full moon. Really working with letting go, like you're being reborn. Remember that you have to do things differently if you expect a different result. That is what the death card is here to remind us, is that we have to let go of something to say yes or to improve in other areas of our life. We cannot just keep cycling through the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So just keep that in mind. We also have the 10 of Cups, so the 10 of water. Let me pull the animal card first, because that's going to help give me some insight. Zebra. Okay. Reference to 6th chakra. What I'm getting is that I know a lot of Aquarians personally that just want to play, that like just want to have a good time all the time. Like I know so many Aquarians that are like party animals. And so it's like one of the gifts of Aquarians is like you guys are so good at the collective, like hanging out with a bunch of people and celebrating and creating communities and networks. Like that's what you're good at. But then it's also like you do have to think long term. This is referencing the 6th chakra, so it's kind of like thinking about what you want macro, not micro. I think that the death card is showing up with the 10 of Cups because it's like, yeah, there's probably a lot of fun stuff, a lot of great things that are happening. And so it's one of those things where you have to focus on, is this short-term pleasure or long-term pleasure? And then what are you going to do with it? Because it's kind of like you kind of have the option, but remember that your decisions in the present do affect the long-term result, the long-term vision. So that's why you kind of want to consider what you see for yourself long-term. Like that's what is really happening. Okay. And then I think that that's going to kind of help you decide, like, do you want to stay in, what does she call it? Pink cloud, pink bubble, or do you want to make changes that are going to support you long term? It's funny. I know that there's a lot of people commenting like, oh, I'm totally a homebody, or, you know, not as much of being a party person or whatever, but it's just about like it matters where you have Aquarius. It also matters what planets you have in Aquarius and how that affects you. Like this probably won't be as potent for Aquarius risings as it will for like somebody who has an Aquarius moon. But it's just kind of like you want to pay attention to what your long-term vision is, because I noticed that can be a big struggle for Aquarius. So just consider it, just think about it, and let that kind of help give you some additional support with this Pisces moon energy. Okay, so that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Don't forget, if you want to work with me, you can go to onyxhealing.com, and I hope you have Jody, I want to respond to your comment. You have Saturn in Aquarius. That's going to add weight to that Aquarian energy. So it's like basically blending Capricorn energy in there. So I hear you 100%. That makes sense why that doesn't resonate quite as much. Okay, anyway, yes, check me out on onyxhealing.com if you want to work with me. It's been a pleasure hanging out with all of you, and I will see you next time. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.